and it's a system which permits the ruling class to maintain its domination over the working and lower and middle classes. So it's important to understand it in that way. So we go beyond just economics and GDP figures or whatever. So the acute crisis is really evident through the social protests, when it becomes very, very clear worldwide that people are getting pretty sick and tired of existing arrangements. So, for example, if you look at real income, i.e., adjusted for inflation in the United States, for most of society, it hasn't risen barely at all since the 1960s, nor has the minimum wage. Nevertheless, massive amounts of wealth have been generated. So where is all of that wealth going? Now, in chapter 1 of the book, I cite the World Inequality Report from 2022, produced by 3 French academics, including the well-known Thomas Piketty. And what it shows is that worldwide, 76% of the world's wealth is controlled by only 10% of the world's population. The bottom 50, the poorest 50% of the world's population, so that's half of humanity, controls only 2% of the world's wealth. And in the last 25 years, the report notes, of all of the additional wealth that has been created globally, 38% of that has accrued to the top 1%. And then when you look within the top 1%, it accrues mostly to the top 0.1%, 0.01%, and so on. So there's a kind of almost exponential curve towards the end. So the acute crisis comes when you have a system which is so lopsided in that manner, and when significant protests begin, which were also starting to assume a socially progressive form as well, not like the kind of populist movements of previous years, but some much more socially progressive kinds of protests in places like India and Chile and so on. So this was obviously seen as a major threat by the ruling class, and I think that was one of the key reasons why they took the decision that they did to shut everything down in 2020. And all of those worldwide protests, of course, went away. And what did we have instead? The lockdowns. And just quickly to come back to your Wizard of Oz analogy, the lockdowns were kind of in and of themselves a psychological operation to, at one level, conjure a kind of illusion of omnipotence.